Today we're getting into the latest Tesla news, including Tesla's massive expansion in Nevada, Tesla's earnings call, price increases, price drops, and more, so let's get into it. First up today, Tesla is in the process of pushing a new software update to customer vehicles. This is version 2023.2.0.5, and the main updates come with two features. First, the heated steering wheel has been improved, allowing you to set 2 levels of heat. Tesla says, quote, set your steering wheel heater to regulate its temperature automatically based on the climate control set temperature. To access steering wheel heating controls, tap the temperature settings to bring up the climate control panel. On top of this, it appears that you'll have the option to choose between low and high heat on the steering wheel. Tesla has also made a couple changes to Sentry Mode. For one, quote, when a threat is detected, Sentry Mode will softly pulse the headlights to indicate that your vehicle is recording video. The pulsing stops after 60 seconds or when the vehicle is unlocked. Tesla is constantly tweaking Sentry Mode to make it better, but the most recent change was the ability for you to live stream your interior camera to the app. This is only available when there are no humans present in the car, but now Tesla is adding the ability to preview the camera inside the vehicle. Quote, you can now view your vehicle's cabin camera feed while in the vehicle. This is useful to see what the cabin camera captures, as well as being able to preview your video feed before beginning a Zoom meeting. To access this, you go to Controls, Service, Preview. It appears this is simply a preview to know how your interior camera looks when you're inside the vehicle, and I don't believe this will change the restrictions to live streaming the interior camera to your phone when someone is in your vehicle. This is one of the first updates of 2023 and shows that Tesla is constantly upgrading customers' cars regardless of how small the improvements are at one given time. Next up today, Tesla just announced massive expansion for their Giga Nevada factory. They tweeted about this and then posted a full presentation that Elon Musk gave at Giga Nevada. In 2014, they started building Giga Nevada, and today they have invested $6.2 billion into that factory. It's 5.4 million square feet, has 11,000 team members, and covers 3,200 acres. So far, it's been responsible for a lot as Tesla's main battery factory. They have produced 7.3 billion Panasonic battery cells, making up over 37 gigawatt hours annually. They've made 1.5 million battery packs, 3.6 million drive units, and 1 million energy modules there. The economic output of this factory has been substantial, and now they're planning to scale this factory up dramatically in 2 main ways. They are expanding to make it one much larger factory, and shared renders of what this will look like. This is essentially finishing out the original plan for Giga Nevada, which has yet to fully come to fruition. For the expansion of this factory, they plan to invest $3.6 billion plus, create around 4 million square feet of new manufacturing space, and create over 3,000 new direct jobs. As for the details, you can see their current factory footprint in purple, and they will be adding a large production area for the Semi in blue, as well as a new 4680 cell factory. This is big news as this is the first we've heard of Tesla expanding 4680 production for some time. They plan for this 4680 factory to produce 100 gigawatt hours of cells annually, and expand from there. With 100 gigawatt hours, that's enough cells to produce 1.5 million Model Ys each year. Long term, Elon mentioned a 500 gigawatt hour capacity as well as 1,000 and 2,000 gigawatt hours. Right now, though, this is phase 2, and they plan to ramp up to 100 gigawatt hours of 4680 production and reach volume production for the Semi hopefully next year. Likely it'll be a bit later than that. This is very exciting to see and makes a lot of sense for Tesla. They've had a lot of success at Giga Nevada, so expansion there makes a lot of sense. Seeing them investing in 4680 production at another factory also looks good for the status of those cells, which have been in limbo for quite some time. Elon also confirmed that 4680 cells will be used for stationary storage as well as vehicles. This was an interesting announcement, an event coming right before Tesla's earnings call, and it appears that for now, this could be the factory we were waiting for Tesla to announce. Tesla's continued expansion and growth is incredibly impressive and continues to set them up well for massive growth in the future. Next up today, after just recently dropping the price of the Model Y by a full $13,000, Tesla is back to raising prices. Instead of a starting price of $52,990, the Model Y now has gone up $500, starting at $53,490. What's interesting here is that the Model Y is price capped at MSRP $55,000 in order to qualify for the $7,500 EV tax credit. So this price increase, while not big, actually caps out certain options. You can configure a base Model Y with white, silver, blue, or black paint and be right under that cap. But if you choose red paint, that adds $2,000, which makes your MSRP $55,490. If you qualify for the tax credit personally, you won't want to spec your car this way because you'll be $490 away from qualifying. The same is the case with the 20-inch induction wheels. If you spec a Model Y with these wheels and base white paint, you'll be $500 over the MSRP tax credit cap. Definitely a weird change for Tesla to raise the price by so little and cap out certain options. Now, if you want to buy a Model Y and are planning for a $7,500 tax credit, you can't get red, and separately you can't get induction wheels. The configurator even lays that out for you as well. When you scroll down to the Order Your Model Y section of the configurator on a base Model Y, it tells you that your design qualifies. Upgrade that to red paint, and it no longer does. It seems Tesla has realized that their price drop was potentially too drastic on their most popular car, but they may also be trying to curb demand on these specific options. It's odd though, because they usually want to encourage customers to upgrade wheels or paint, so I'm not entirely sure their reasoning here. It's kind of a ridiculous and fun puzzle to figure out which configurations qualify, since a red Model Y won't qualify, but upgrading it to 7 seats then means it's subject to an $80,000 MSRP cap by the IRS and does qualify. We'll see how this develops, but it's likely we won't see another price increase, since that would cap out more options from the tax credit. In any case, at the same time, the Model Y is now cheaper and qualifying for the US tax credit and has that slight increase in price, Tesla has confirmed that they'll get a full EV subsidy in Germany. This is the first time the Model Y has fully qualified for this incentive, and it amounts to about $7,000 off of an EV. Quote, as BAFA officially confirmed at the end of last week, both the Tesla Model 3 and for the first time the Tesla Model Y qualify for the highest premium of the new state subsidy, which will be up to €6,750 in 2023. For both Model 3 and Model Y, the maximum subsidy applies to all model upgrades, including the maximum range and performance variants. With that subsidy now available, the Model Y becomes even more affordable. Tesla's price drops across all markets have both ensured that they get more orders and ensured that they qualify for these large incentives, leading to even more orders. Quote, the Tesla Model 3 is available from €40,470 with the maximum subsidy, and the Model Y from €41,370. This is the lowest price ever available in Germany for the Model Y, and as we've seen in the US, should lead to a surge of orders right as they're continuing to ramp up their Giga Berlin factory. 2023 is set up to be a very big year for Tesla. While Tesla's new vehicle prices are coming down, the story of Tesla's holding their value, making you a profit, or retaining insane used prices is being turned on its head. At a certain point last year, buying a used Model Y was more expensive than ordering a new one, since demand was so high. That's not the story anymore. It's unfortunate for those who plan to sell their vehicle or flip it, but it's great news for more people getting into electric vehicles. According to car gurus, Tesla used prices have crashed $18,000 from their all-time high in July of 2022. This has happened to the whole market to a degree, but Teslas are down over 8% in the last 30 days alone. When looking back in a 90-day period, the average used car price is down 5.5%, whereas the average Tesla price is down 17.7%. Their high value that they retained for a while has crashed further than other vehicles, likely due in part to Tesla's lowered prices and increased availability. As we can see, the average used price of a Model 3 is down 20.39% year over year. The Model S is down 19.96% year over year, Model X is down 14.55% year over year, and the Model Y used is down 18.25% year over year. For Tesla as a whole, this means all of their vehicles are down 16.77% year over year on average. Those are some very big swings, and it shows what a crazy year we just went through in the vehicle market as a whole. Used Teslas still appear to be holding value fairly well relative to new vehicles, but things are changing a bit from when many thought their cars were appreciating assets. If Tesla were to achieve full self-driving, that story could change a bit, but the cars themselves are becoming much more available, so pricing is having to come down. Overall, that's great for electrification, and I'm excited to see this develop further. Used Teslas tend to hold up pretty well, so they can be a really great value, especially with dropping prices. Next up today, Tesla released their Q4 earnings report, which includes totals for the year of 2022, and they had their earnings call. In the report, Tesla details yet another record-breaking quarter. For profitability, Tesla notes a 16.8% operating margin in 2022 and 16% in Q4. They had $13.7 billion GAAP operating income in 2022 and $3.9 billion in Q4. For operations, they note 6.5 gigawatt hours of energy storage deployed in 2022, a 64% increase year over year, and record vehicle deliveries of 1.31 million for the year. For their summary, they detail their record-breaking year and mentioned that in Q4, they had their highest ever quarterly revenue, operating income, and net income. For the future, quote, we know that there there are questions about the near-term impact of an uncertain macroeconomic environment, and in particular with rising interest rates. The Tesla team is used to challenges given the culture required to get the company to where it is today. In the near term, we are accelerating our cost reduction roadmap and driving towards higher production rates while staying focused on executing against the next phase of our roadmap. They finish out their summary strong, saying our relentless cost control and cost innovation is why we believe that no other OEM is better equipped to navigate through 2023 and ultimately succeed in the long run than we are. Tesla is laying it out clear in this report that while there are some uncertainties in 2023, they are prepared to take them on and are looking at the long term with autonomy, electrification, and energy solutions. They detail a lot throughout this report, including production, deliveries, storage deployment, service fleet growth, and more, but my favorite from these lists is supercharger stations. This continues growing rapidly each quarter, and I hope this only continues growing in 2023. For vehicle capacity, they detail the fact that each of their factories produced a record number of vehicles in Q4, even their well-established factories in Fremont and China. They also are shifting to have less vehicles delivered in the third month of the quarter, quote, and smooth deliveries throughout the quarter, which will help to reduce cost per vehicle. They note a production capacity of 650,000 total at Fremont, around 750,000 at Shanghai, 250,000 at Berlin, and 250,000 at Texas. The Cybertruck is in tooling, Semi is in pilot production, and Roadster, Robotaxi, and others are in development with the location to be determined. For full self-driving, Tesla has released the FSD beta to all customers who bought FSD, which they say is around 400,000 people. The miles driven with FSD beta and the data Tesla is collecting along the way continues accelerating rapidly. One of the more exciting sentences for me, though, comes on page 12. Tesla says, Cybertruck remains on track to begin production later this year at Gigafactory, Texas. Our next generation vehicle platform is under development, with additional details to be shared at Investor Day, March 1st, 2023. Great to hear the Cybertruck is still on track for the latest timeline, and I'm really curious to see what their next generation platform will be exactly. I assume it's the Robotaxi because I think that's their vision of a future vehicle, but it could be what ultimately ends up being the $25,000 Tesla, another event to look forward to. According to this report, Tesla is in great shape even when facing near-term obstacles. They also seem very confident in their ability to maintain industry-leading profit. On the call itself, Elon Musk recapped what he said was Tesla's best year ever in every regard. He spoke almost immediately about demand because that is one of the biggest concerns that people have for Tesla going forward. And he said that in January so far, year to date, they have their strongest orders yet than they've ever had in their history. Currently, they're seeing orders at twice their rate of production. They don't expect that to fully continue throughout the whole year, but that's what they're seeing right now, so demand is doing just fine, and those price decreases definitely helped out there. He also mentioned that in response to that, they raised the price of the Model Y a little bit, which is that $500 we talked about earlier in this video. He also potentially hinted that they will be raising other prices as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if the Model 3 goes up as well, or the Performance Model Y. Long-term, manufacturing still remains their biggest strength and the thing that they see to be the most impactful. For the Cybertruck, they talked about introducing Hardware 4. Hardware 4 will officially be introduced on the Cybertruck, and when asked if Hardware 4 will be necessary and Hardware 3 cars will need to upgrade, Elon said it will not be necessary. They still plan to achieve safety far better than a human with FSD on Hardware 3, and then it will just be better on Hardware 4 on the Cybertruck than Hardware 4 in the future, and so on. When asked about Cybertruck production still being on track for mid-2023, Elon did squash expectations a little bit here, saying that the Cybertruck should be starting production in the summer, but he's always hesitant to talk about it because production always begins slowly. So Cybertruck likely won't have a huge impact this year, but it will in 2024 especially. Regarding their production capacity for 2023, he said they're at 1.8 million, but realistically they could actually do 2 million vehicles this year if nothing goes wrong. But they're guiding for 1.8 million because there always seems to be something that gets in the way. If all goes fine and totally smooth this year, they expect to be able to make 2 million vehicles. He talked as usual about the vast potential that FSD has and that they're sitting on that product and giving everyone the hardware, and then once they deliver it, everyone can buy it, and that's a ton of pretty much 100% earnings for them. And then for the future, he said they have more exciting products on the way that they can't announce yet, and that they have the most exciting future product roadmap of any company on Earth. As usual, Elon was hyping up the future of Tesla a lot on this earnings call. Last up today, some updates about other automakers. Honda has dragged their feet for a while on electrification, and it's a big reason why we still don't have a confirmed release date for their first electric vehicle in the US. Now, however, they've announced that they are overhauling their business to spark growth and catch up on the EV market. Quote, based on the business development operations established April last year to strengthen electrification business, the electrification business development operations will be newly created. The operation will consolidate the business strategy and BEV product development functions of automobile business and electrification-related strategy and development functions of motorcycle and power product businesses to further strengthen and accelerate Honda's electrification business. They also plan to consolidate their operations to 3 markets instead of 6 as they are currently. These will be North America, China, and associated regions. Then they will reorganize corporate functions as well. They finished their statement saying, Honda strives to remain and become even more recognized as a company society wants to exist in the electrified era. Their first EV isn't set to launch until 2024, and it's a car that they co-developed with GM. Right now, many feel Honda is too late on electrification and will be beat by other companies massively outpacing them with electrification. We'll see how this develops, and I'm always rooting for companies to succeed with EVs. Polestar this week unveiled their newly updated 2024 Polestar 2. From the front end, you can see a design change away from a front grille, and it brings a few other upgrades. Polestar's CEO said, quote, typically in the car industry, a facelift introduces superficial visual changes that often destroy the original intention of the car's design theme. With the new model year Polestar 2, we rather went below the surface and upgraded substantial tech and mechanical components of the electric drivetrain. This is the best Polestar 2 yet, and with the updated front design with the new Smart Zone, the best looking one too. They have moved to a rear-wheel drive on a single motor design instead of front-wheel drive, and upgraded that motor, allowing the full battery version to get a range up to 300 miles, 299 horsepower, and a 0 to 60 in 5.9 seconds. The dual motor and performance versions now get a range up to 270 miles on a 78 kilowatt-hour battery pack. There are a few other small upgrades, and US pricing has yet to be shared. It's unclear when this change will fully take place, and it's interesting to see the 2024 version of a car that's currently in production announced this early in the year. Over at Acura, under parent company Honda, they are planning to take first pre-sales of their ZDX EV in 2023. When they take those orders, they now say that they will be 100% taken online. This is likely in response to how Tesla does things and could lead to Acura moving their electric vehicles to a direct-to-consumer model. That's all the latest Tesla news for today, so in the meantime, if you want to see how one of Tesla's advantages is disappearing soon, you can check out that video linked up here or in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.